I'm driving a pair of EVs this week, and even though they play in slightly different segments, I want to find out if the Toyota's significantly higher MSRP is justified when compared with the Chevys. Now, both this bZ4X and Bolt EUV are of the highest trim levels, so let's find out where you should put your money.
Toyota has become synonymous with hybrid, but it certainly hasn't pioneered fully electric vehicles in the same way. It's taken until the 2023 model year before Toyota has delivered a widely available EV, the bZ4X. Born from a joint venture with Subaru, this is an excellent, albeit pricey new entry to entice electric car shoppers. But not all electric cars are priced out of reach. Chevy's updated Bolt and all-new Bolt EUV start below $30,000, the latter even offering Super Cruise, a hands-free driving feature none of its competitors have. New for 2023, Chevy has ratcheted up the EUV's swagger with the available Redline Appearance Package, while also slashing its MSRP by over $6,000. So as not to bury the lead, no matter which of these cars you ultimately choose, you'll almost certainly be pleased with the purchase. They're very good. But within lie differences beyond just price that'll likely sway your decision. Among the myriad vehicles Toyota sells, only 2 are propelled on electricity alone, and one of those, the hydrogen-fueled Mirai, can't be purchased outside of California. So it's this new bZ4X that introduces the masses to a Toyota EV, though the $42,000 starting MSRP might limit enthusiasm, particularly because all of Toyota's federal tax credits went away on January 1st. It's a roomy, small crossover SUV slotting just above the RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrid in terms of price and offering up to 252 miles of driving range. But if you want all of the goodies the bZ4X offers, this all-wheel drive limited grade can only muster 222 miles on a full charge and wears a conspicuous sticker price of $52,468, including a handful of options. Now that's not cheap, but this BZ possesses a pronounced sophistication that mostly legitimizes its cost. It could easily wear a Lexus badge without embarrassing itself with a very refined drive, whisper-quiet cabin, and quality-driven craftsmanship. When I first tested the Bolt 5 years ago, the top trim model came in at under $44,000 before a sizable federal tax credit and provided a healthy 238 miles of driving range, a breakthrough moment for mass-produced EVs. Heavily refreshed for the 2022 model year, the Bolt also welcomed its bigger brother, the Bolt EUV, to the electric family. Though they share a platform, the EUV's sheet metal is unique, and it's about 6 inches longer overall, 3 of which are bestowed upon the legroom of rear seat passengers. Cargo volume between the two Bolts is virtually the same. The EUV styling may personify a small SUV, but it's only a tad taller, rides upon the same 17-inch wheels, and can't be specified with all-wheel drive. And because it is carrying around nearly 100 pounds of additional weight, the EUV's driving range is slightly diminished, 247 miles versus 259. Now, it may not be much of a looker, even with the Redline flare, but it drives well, comes standard with lots of EV-specific features, and is built upon a dedicated electric platform free of gas car compromises. GM has been doing Redline editions for years, and the Bolt EUV is next in line. For an additional $495, the Redline Appearance Package includes a black interior with red stitching, black wheels with red accents, red stripes on the side view mirrors, and a red and black model badge. Think of it as a modicum of extra sportiness for a vehicle that's a little dowdy, but not at all slow. 0 to 60 arrives in 7 seconds flat, but feels much quicker in around-the-town driving, where the 266 pound-feet of torque is delivered instantaneously. There's even a sport mode that adds a little zing to the electrifying acceleration. Now, even though its name is seemingly derived from a cat walking over a keyboard, the bZ4X encompasses the tenets EV drivers love: immediate, robust power delivery, peacefully quiet motoring, and progressive design. With its smooth front end, slim headlights, and judicious use of LED lighting, the bZ4X possesses modern styling befitting an EV. It looks sharp and smartly utilizes its engine-free design to create generous amounts of passenger and cargo volume, though despite an almost 4-inch advantage in length, the bZ4X provides significantly less luggage room and slightly less passenger space than the RAV4. You won't find any more stuffed space under the aluminum hood either. There is over 8 inches of ground clearance here, Subaru's X-Mode off-road drive settings, and the assurance of a dual-motor all-wheel drive system. So the bZ4X is no cream puff, despite Toyota's admonition to keep it on pavement unless unavoidable. But for snow, dirt, and muddy conditions where added traction is beneficial, this is a well-equipped driving partner. While either stopped or traveling at speeds below 13 miles per hour, X-Mode can be engaged, tuning the traction control and all-wheel drive systems for driving on slippery roads. There are 3 modes: normal, snow dirt, and deep snow mud. There's also a slow-speed cruise control setting called grip control to vary speed between 2 and 6 miles per hour, allowing the driver to focus on steering while the pace is controlled by the car. X-Mode automatically kicks off at speeds above 25 miles per hour.
Once inside, the steering wheel and gauge cluster positioning immediately draw attention to themselves because the steering wheel needs to be placed oddly low in order to avoid obscuring things up here on the display. So there's a fine line here between being comfortable with your seating position and missing out on some valuable information. But these seats are absolutely heavenly. Some of the best that I've ever tested. They're super soft and supportive. And the windshield is huge, so you have this excellent forward visibility, very reminiscent of Volkswagen models. And the cabin is Lexus level quiet. There's definitely a pronounced sophistication to everything about it that helps justify its over $50,000 price. In a number of ways, this Bolt reminds me of our Kona Electric. It's energetic, highly functional, and just brimming with premium features, even more so than in the much pricier bZ. But its killer app is Super Cruise, and it's only a $2,200 option. This is GM's breakthrough technology that brings hands-free highway travel to the masses, and it is absolutely brilliant. Now, if you want to see another one of my videos that goes more in depth on it, click the link up above. It makes highway travel just so much more stress-free. You would be a fool for leaving it off the options list.
Chevy does such a great job of welcoming those new to EV ownership by assuaging range anxiety and educating through electronics. Whether it's via the OnStar mobile app, the over 10-inch touchscreen, or a robust driver display, there's easily digestible EV-specific information at your fingertips. The Bolt EUV also has a one-pedal drive mode in addition to paddles on the steering wheel that can be used on demand. It's an easy car to drive smoothly once you practice the timing of lifting off the accelerator to slow down. In terms of the bZ's electronic EV features, they are muted. Whereas most electrics offer countless ways to monitor, view, and manipulate driving range and other critical information in regards to the battery, Toyota offers very few here. Even the range indicator itself is demure in its appearance among the bits of information in the driver display. Over on the big touchscreen, there's almost nothing related to EV duties. And because my tester doesn't have an active navigation subscription, I can't even say for sure there's an EV plug finder in here, though there's gotta be.
You know, I really love the way this drives. It's very premium in its ride. It's quicker than both my Kona and the Bolt, and Subaru's contributions to the all-wheel drive modes makes this one very capable EV. I mean, throw some winter tires on this thing and you would be nearly unstoppable. Now, there's no full one-pedal drive, but there is a regen boost button here on the center console that essentially does just that, meaning you rarely have to use the brake pedal in order to slow the vehicle down. It's just unfortunate, though, that Toyota has partnered with EVgo for its complimentary fast charging sessions because, at least in these parts, those are the really slow 50 kilowatt chargers.
The drive is smooth and quiet, much like in the Venza Hybrid. Its 214 horsepower and 248 pound-feet of torque produce a 0 to 60 time of 6.5 seconds, certainly quick enough to move its 4,464 pounds with ease. The low center of gravity and multi-link rear suspension also imbue impressive handling and a forgiving ride quality, though there is no sport mode. Available in XLE and this jam-packed limited grade in either front or all-wheel drive, my tester has it all, including a rear spoiler, heated rear seats, radiant foot and leg warmers in the front, and a 9-speaker JBL audio system that punches above its weight. There are less expensive options for a first EV purchase, but the bZ4X rises above with a truly premium experience. One that's a little shy on range, but nevertheless a winner. Plugging in to replenish the 72.8 kilowatt-hour battery can be accomplished via a trio of methods. A standard household outlet, which takes a couple of days, a level 2 charger expediting matters to about 9 hours, and most quickly, a DC fast charger requiring about an hour or less. The maximum charge rate for a DC connection is 100 kilowatts, 50 kilowatts less than the front drive bZ4X with its slightly smaller battery and single motor. Now, placed in the floor of the Bolt is a nearly 1,000-pound battery capable of storing 65 kilowatt hours of electricity. It feeds an electric motor generating 200 horsepower and is mated to a single-speed transmission driving the front wheels. But while most modern EVs can handle DC charge rates of at least 100 kilowatts, the Bolt's 6-year-old electrical architecture can only intake at a rate of 50 kilowatts. Now that means fast charging the vehicle at the slowest DC rate commonly available contributes a mere 95 miles of range per 30 minutes. Do the math, and getting to an 80% charge takes over an hour. When using a 240-volt charger, the Bolt EUV can be completely filled in about 7 hours. MSRP of this Bolt EUV Premier Red Line with the Sun and Sound and Super Cruise packages is $37,885. The price cut offsets the loss of the previously available $7,500 federal tax credit. It's undoubtedly a bargain, but in order to offer it at that price, Chevy has had to pinch some pennies here and there. The roster of features is robust, with nearly all of the conveniences of a luxury model, but areas such as the thin-sounding 7-speaker audio system, the use of hard plastics, absence of rear HVAC controls, a manual liftgate, and torsion beam rear suspension are reminders that this isn't a bZ4X. The ride quality and decibel level in the cabin are also down a rung from that next class of EVs. Now, these are not deal breakers by any means, but taking inventory of such items edifies as to how Chevy can keep the Bolt EUV's price in check.
The price discrepancy between this BZ and this Bolt is $14,500. And though the Toyota is undeniably more polished, runs with all-wheel drive, is quicker, affords more cargo volume, and charges at a faster rate, it's this Bolt's MSRP which is actually more impressive, considering the fact with its purchase comes a level 2 home charger installation. There's more passenger volume here. It provides an additional 25 miles of driving range, and it comes equipped with the most significant automotive invention of my lifetime, which is GM's Super Cruise hands-free highway driving technology that used to be reserved for high-end Cadillacs. So for the EV shopper on a budget looking to maximize their dollar, this Bolt can't be topped.
Because it's built upon GM's previous generation EV platform, the Bolt and Bolt EUV are scheduled for retirement sometime in 2024, when a series of replacements is expected but not yet confirmed. The bZ4X, on the other hand, will likely not see a refresh until 2026. For TopSpeed.com, I'm Steve Hammis.